Alright, so before you guys comment how Boros utterly dominates against Genos, I am here to say that you are right, but this what if is basically a way for Genos to not be such a jobber in the beginning of Season 1, because this man was a straight jobber during that time period. And if you guys are wondering how is Genos going to stop being a jobber by just letting him get nigged by Boros, well, we will actually get into that later on after this intro. And so with that being said, I have nothing else to say here, and let's just get right into this what if.
Hey, collecting rings like a Sonic. Bitches wanna party. Virus getting heavy, so got 'em on a diet, yeah. Flex like I'm Hogan. Yo, bitch coming over. Yeah, we respect.
So in order to try and begin this what if, I'm basically going to say here that Genos would see Saitama attacking Boros' ship, and instead of staying with the S-class heroes, he's actually going to see his master being potentially in need of some help, since this is a dragon level threat after all, and Genos decides to join along Saitama just in case if he needs some company. Not that if someone tries to damage Saitama, Genos would try and make a difference and try and help in, but he's going to try and help out his master every way he can, and so he would tag along with him, and him and Saitama would wreak havoc on Boros' ship until they would inevitably encounter Boros. Now when approaching Boros, Genos gets a little bit scared because he could just tell that Boros is such a powerful threat and he's the one leading the attack here. And at that point, Boros would just immediately get punched by Saitama, and when his armor breaks, Genos would kind of underestimate him, saying that his master actually has this in the bag and Boros is nowhere near his power. At that point, Boros would just merely laugh, as he would then tap into his true power, blitzing Saitama and punching him away. Genos, seeing this, has no other choice but to try and attack, and he shoots a full-powered incineration cannon, which leads into Boros just, well, taking the attack, and he even tries to throw a machine gun blow attack at Boros' way, but Boros would dodge every single one of the machine gun blows, and Boros hits Genos with one punch, which leads into Genos being in a out of battle state, since he would probably be completely dismantled and in pieces from that one punch that Boros just hit him with, because this isn't even the current Genos that we are with, and Boros would still destroy Genos, let alone this a lot weaker Genos than the canon one we are familiar with, which would basically mean that Genos is just completely discouraged from this, and all he can do is merely watch, sitting there with his own scrapped metal. Now with Genos just in shambles, Saitama would witness this, and he would get mad at the fact that his apprentice has fallen to Boros, and he would then take this fight a little bit more seriously, or seemingly as serious as Boros would think at least, and Boros and Saitama would just go at it, and this would still lead into Boros using his meteoric burst, and Saitama still leading into using his serious punch, even though he didn't even need it. He would still defeat Boros, and he would basically carry Genos and his scrapped metal all the way to wherever his doctor is, where I forgot his name and I don't know how to pronounce it, so I'm just gonna call him the doctor for now. If you guys want to tell me how to pronounce it, well, just let me know down in the comment section. Anyways, Genos would be taken back to the doctor, where he would be repaired, but not only repaired, he would also be upgraded. Now with Genos being upgraded, he specifically ordered the doctor to basically upgrade him to the point to where this Genos would surpass the Genos that has fought even the likes of Elder Centipede, and would be a lot more powerful than really any other Genos. Now the reason why I say this is because, well, Genos is someone who gets stronger every time he gets bodied after a fight because of these upgrades. Now I believe this Genos would logically get much more powerful than any other Genos, since he's analyzed and is basically running simulations through his head against this version of Boros, and he would even be watching meteoric burst Boros, but he would be basically trying to fight the first form of Boros that one-shotted him. And the reason why I'm not basing it off a meteoric burst Boros is because if Genos becomes hypothetically that strong, if not even stronger, well, he would just kind of just neg most of this verse except for Saitama, and the heroes would just have an easy time. and also because Genos probably couldn't even perceive, or probably wouldn't be able to perceive, Boros versus Saitama in the first place, so I'm not even going to base it off of that. And so because of that, this Genos would basically run simulations in his head, analyzing Boros' fighting style and his fighting powers, and basically getting upgrades to the point to where he doesn't rival his power, but he increases his own power exponentially to the point to where Genos has a little bit more confidence and is a lot more courageful. I don't even know if that's a word, but Anyways, since he would be a lot more faster and a lot more powerful, and he's even more powerful than his canon self, because Boros is a lot more powerful than Gouketsu and Elder Centipede. Now after this, as we all know, Season 2 would start up, and the villain that would want to fight King would have to fight Genos first, and Genos would easily body slam this villain, showing off that he has gotten far more powerful. And this even surprises Saitama a little bit, but Genos is nowhere near Saitama yet, so don't try and get that idea. Saitama is just, surprised that all of a sudden Genos got so much more powerful in such a short amount of time. Anyways, after this they would still encounter G4, which leads into Genos fighting G4, and instead of relying on some adhesive gel to slow him down, he would just blitz and destroy him with his raw power, since Genos has been training for someone like Boros, and someone like G4 compared to Boros is nothing, and he's been training for some time now, and he is not going to let someone like G4 get the better of him. Now after this point in the story, things don't really seem to change until Sonic arrives after Blizzard and Saitama have their scrap, and Genos and Sonic would still have their scrap. Now after this we would get into Sonic versus Genos, and I don't see Sonic here having really a good chance against this version of Genos, since he would be much more faster and much more powerful than his canon self, and much more powerful than the version Sonic fought. And that version, well, he was kind of pressing Sonic for a little bit. Sonic was barely dodging and barely getting out of the way, although it was implied that Sonic would have won had Genos even used the self-destruction thing in the first place. It is still a thing to consider, because Genos was kind of reaching Sonic's level of speed, and so Sonic started really trying. And so this Genos would be much more powerful, and I don't even think a Sonic who is really trying would even come close to matching this version of Genos, because remember, Genos has been analyzing someone like Boros, who's far faster and far more powerful than even someone like Sonic. And because of this, Genos would manage to catch Sonic off guard with his machine gun blow attack, which would blitz and bully Sonic into the ground. And Sonic knows that if he can't even fight someone like Genos, he's nowhere, not even close to being ready against someone like Saitama. And so he basically blitzes out of the area in frustration, and he still encounters the two monsters that feed him the monster cells. Fast forwarding a little bit, Genos would still fight all those demon level threats and still encounter Gouketsu. But instead of getting one-shotted this time, Genos would actually be able to perceive and move away from Gouketsu's attack. Also forgot to mention, before even facing Gouketsu, he would have to face against Awakened Cockroach, who he easily beats this time since he's much more powerful and wouldn't get fatigued from his previous opponent. So he would not only be at full condition fighting Awakened Cockroach, but he would be much more powerful than Awakened Cockroach here, since this is a much more powerful Genos than the one that Cockroach fought. And so after bullying Awakened Cockroach, Gouketsu would come by, and Genos versus Gouketsu would actually happen, rather than Genos just getting negged. Genos just getting the feeling from Gouketsu's punch that he was going to hit Genos with was something that was definitely much more powerful than any other monster he's faced before, and this would be a real test to his true power and how strong he's really gotten. Genos would just go all out from the start, not thinking that he needs to hold back anything against Gouketsu, and shoots a jet driving arrow directly in his face. This leads into Gouketsu actually taking some damage, but he would recover fast, and he would then attack Genos with another punch. This would lead into Genos being barely able to evade the punch, and then spin over to him, and then kick him in the face once again, and then shoot an incineration cannon full power point blank in Gouketsu's face. And so he's tapping into his full power, and he would shoot a 5-second full powered blast, which would put some strain on Genos, putting a little bit of a cooldown to all of his abilities for a little bit, and this would actually do a lot of damage to Gouketsu and actually push him back to the point to where Gouketsu, instead of going on the offensive, is now on the defensive, awaiting for Genos' next attack, not knowing that he's actually on the cooldown at the moment. This would lead into Genos seeing Gouketsu and then fleeing away, hoping for his cooldown to wear off, and eventually the cooldown does wear off, with Gouketsu just about getting ready to punch Genos, but at that point Genos would then activate his full power once again, and he would then spring himself to Gouketsu and kick him on top of the head. At that point, on top of Gouketsu's head, he uses a combination between machine gun blows and high voltage fist to basically have a machine gun voltage fist barrage, which leads to Gouketsu's brain actually being electrocuted and Gouketsu dying. the monster Gouketsu would be brought down, and Genos feels very accomplished, knowing that he's definitely gotten a lot more powerful. Even though this guy is nowhere near Boros, this is definitely a start to his hero journey and to his real path to power, and to surpassing Saitama overall. This is where we will be holding off this what if for now, since I feel like if I made a part 2, there wouldn't be enough content to even make this video over 5 minutes long, and I'm not even caught up on the manga itself, so I'm gonna catch up and hopefully come up with a part 2 for you guys. But for now, this is where we'll be leaving things. Well, looks like you guys made it to the end of the video. Thank you guys for watching this video. Your support means more than you think, and really I do appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and share with your friends. Also, comment other what ifs you would like to see on the channel, or anything you liked about this what if. If you guys do want to hang out with me and other content creators off YouTube, be sure to join the Discord, which will be linked in the description, where we basically do debates, game nights, watch movies, watch shows, and overall just hang out and chill. With that being said, I'm gonna get out of here and leave you guys alone. Thank you guys for watching once again. My name is Tyler. Peace out. Bye.